It's Dr. Rick dropping in on you. Hope everybody's having an unbelievable day up until this point. Look, I'm not going to take long. Today is Transformational Tuesday. I'm going to get right in it. I'm going to give you 6 tips to achieve uh, effective personal transformation. And this is extremely important because we always talk about the things we want. We talk about the things we desire, our hopes, our aspirations, our dreams. And what we don't understand, and I often say this, and I will continue to say this, is that you don't get what you want in this life. You get who you are. You get what you're capable of becoming. So if you want something, you have to become the person capable of creating it, capable of achieving it, capable of going out and getting it or making it happen, building it, whatever it takes to have it. And so this means that you have to intentionally develop and transform and become that person. So it's about becoming. Life is about becoming. Life is about becoming what you were designed to be, about living life at the level of your design. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. If you like what you see and hear, click the like button, click the share button, subscribe, and follow. It's real simple. If you are serious about change, look in that description box. Check out the resources. There are some time-sensitive stuff in there, so you want to get in and check it out. Again, life is about taking actions and seizing opportunities. So when it comes to personal transformation, when it comes to personal change, it's about being intentional. It's about having a specific desired result. So guess what? The first step number one, tip number one to positive transformation is write down the outcome. So in other words, reverse engineer. You're going to reverse engineer. You're going to write down the outcome. What is it that you want? What is it that you want to become? What is it that you're trying to accomplish? So what does that mean? So anytime I want something that I don't have, and it's not simply something that I just simply haven't achieved yet, but I'm striving towards, meaning it's a new idea, it means that I am probably not where I need to be to have it. So the question is, what does a person who has this, what does a person who does this, what does a person who creates this type of situation look like? What time do they wake up in the morning? What are their conversations like? What is their circle like? These are the things you need to be aware of, because you have to look at the patterns of success. Success always leaves clues. So then what must you do? You must sit there and determine what it is. So you write the outcome. Who is it do I want to be? Write the outcome. Be very specific. Be very clear. The clearer you are in writing down your goals, and what you're becoming is a goal. So that's a goal too. Not just material goals, but personal internal goals are even more important. What am I becoming? And so you write that down, then you look at it. That's the first step. You've got to have a clear understanding, something to aim at, something to measure for, something to pace you for. And that's the first thing. So write down with clarity the outcome. And that's with any goal. That's with any goal. But we're talking personal transformation now. So the outcome is, what am I trying to become? Who is this person I'm trying to become? And what is my goal? I want to be this person by. And you set it out and you go. Now, I am a person that believes in aiming for the stars. I don't believe in setting what people will call reasonable goals. I set goals that stretch me. I set goals that pull me completely out of my comfort zone and wake me up with urgency every day. Now, I didn't say wake me up with anxiety. I said wake me up with urgency, meaning that I know that every moment in my day counts. So I wake up on time, I get to work, and I optimize my 86,400 seconds. A significant part of it is sleep. That's where I rejuvenate. That's where I replenish. That's where I balance my hormones and everything else that's so important to be able to perform at a high level every day. And so again, some of it's sleep, some of it's preparation, some of it's reading, some of it's learning, some of it is actually taking the steps and operational, but it all has purpose. The time I spend with my family, the time I spend with my kids, the time I spend with friends, all of this is purposeful. It's nothing that's just there to just be done. So I look at every moment and ask myself, what am I getting out of it? And so that's the thing I'm challenging you to do. Number two, take baby steps. And I know this is cliche-ish and you've heard it many times, but I'm telling you, the incremental steps is just as important as the ultimate goal. To me, one of the biggest problems I see people have when trying to achieve something is they look at it and they see that they step back and they see the entire picture. They see this big mountain and they're looking and going, how in the hell am I going to climb this? How in the hell am I going to build this? How in the hell am I going to become this? And it's difficult. Don't do that. Know what you need to do. Step back, look at it and say, that's what I'm becoming. Then look and say, what's the first step? That's all. Incremental small steps. What's the first step? You build it one brick at a time. If you ever went by and you watch the home being built, they don't just go up there one day, you throw it up and you come back the next day. No, it's a foundation first. Then it's framing. Then it's the other things. And then when they get to the external, the walls that they build on the outside is laid brick by brick, one step at a time. It's not I'm building this great unbelievable wall for this house, or this wall for whatever purpose, or this fence or whatever you're building. It's one step at a time, one bar at a time, one movement at a time, one increment at a time, and celebrate those incremental progresses. In other words, when you do something, when you put that brick down and you lay it, okay, and it's time for the next brick. Before you do that, celebrate the fact that you did that brick and you did it to the best of your freaking ability. And celebrate it. Why? Because that releases chemicals to the reward center of the brain that says you've done something. It satisfies you. It gives you a sense of accomplishment, and it refuels your passion and your fire to go out and take the next step. And you celebrate. Another problem that I see people have is they have these 90-day goals, 6-month goals, and year goals, and then on down the line. And the thing is, if you're not going to celebrate till you hit your 90-day goals, that's 90 days of just hammering at something with nothing to reinforce why you're doing it, nothing to sit up and do. And every day, if you're going to get to the 90 days, every day you're doing something. Even if you get up and you can't see any in return on what you did today, if you got up and you knocked out that day, whether you got a return on it or not, the return is coming. What you sow, you reap. What you plant, you harvest. That cannot change. That's a universal law laid firm in the foundation of how everything happens. If I put it out there, it's coming back. I don't control necessarily when it comes back, but I know it's out there. That's my first goal, is to put it out there, not trying to be so fixated on when it's going to happen that I lose sight on the next brick. So the next tip number 3, learn from others. This is why your circle is so important. This is why one of the biggest things that I see, and I keep saying the biggest things because these are 6 tips that are powerful. So there's these big impediments in front of people that are associated with each one of these steps. So I'm not just being repetitive. I'm literally sitting up saying there are problems that literally, if you can take these 6 steps, you're going to eliminate a big part of your problems in not achieving things. When you look at something, you got to learn from others. What does it mean? Something my grandmother used to say to me. She said, sometimes, son, bought sense is better than borrowed, but always try to borrow the sense if you can. What does it mean? It means that there are 2 ways that you learn. You learn from others, or you learn through trial and error by doing it yourself. The trial and error means you bump your head, you make mistakes, you fail. And there's a part of your life that needs you to do that. There are times that you're going to come in that you need to go trial and error. But there are so many other times that you're going to shorten the learning curve, compress the time of accomplishment by learning from others, of what my grandmother called borrowed sense. And you want to learn from others. Now, sometimes you're going to get it because you have those people in your circle, or you're in their circle. Sometimes you're going to get it because you're just going to happen to run across a person at the right time. Other times you're going to have to go seek out the person, and you're going to have to pay them. It's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with paying for something of value in which you're getting equal value or greater value than what you're paying. That's a fair exchange. That is business. That's life. That's what you want to do. You're going to have to put some skin in the game one way or another. But what you need to do is find the people who can tell you what you need to do and give you insight, give you advice, and learn from them. Have some people who have gone where you're going in your circle. Tip number 4. Oh man, this one right here. Be the outcome before the outcome. Like, Doc, what are you talking about? Be the outcome before the outcome. Some people call it faking it before you make it, and people lose their mind when they hear that because it sounds deceptive. No, what it's saying is God designed your brain and your mind to be incapable of distinguishing between what you imagine and what you're actually experiencing. It allows you to create alternative realities to the one you're living to stabilize you and give you a feeling and an impression. That's how people doing a lot of time do their time. They live it in a world that doesn't exist where they're actually physically at. And it takes them to places and they're actually enjoying things that people who are on the outside aren't enjoying. And you can't tell them that they're not there. The brain and the mind does not have the ability to distinguish between what's being imagined and what's real. So every time you're acting and you're walking and you're behaving like you're already what you're trying to become, it actually reinforces and anchors the idea and the notion. It triggers the reticular activating system, which is a filter that prioritizes all of the information and data that's coming in. So now that you're saying this is who I am, the filter now filters out things that wasn't being filtered out and brings in things that wasn't being brought in. So when I sit up and say I'm this person, now if I'm saying I'm a successful business owner and I haven't launched a business, now all of a sudden things associated with being a business owner has a priority. So think that would have normally, out of all the thoughts, you got to understand the conscious mind can only process 2,000 bits of information per second. Your subconscious mind can process 4 billion bits of information a second. Every little thing that's happening around you, from the air blowing through the air vents, the sounds of cars outside, birds chirping, the stuff on the wall, the lights and what they're doing, all that subconscious is reading every last bit of it. The music playing in the background that you're ignoring, it's taking it in. It's not missing a word. It's picking it up. You just can't consciously get it because your conscious can't process all that information. It's made for focus. It's made for you to focus on specific tasks. That's why you can get on a phone call and talk and do all the stuff you're doing and drive home without ever, and then get home and go, man, what did I do the last 15 minutes? Because your subconscious was doing what it's trained to do, and your conscious mind was focusing on what you told it needed to focus on. So the conscious mind has limitations. So when it focuses on that, all this other stuff is going on. But you have the power by acting and speaking and talking as if you have already arrived. By speaking in the present tense about the things you're declaring for your life, you are actually telling the brain and the mind that it's happening. So now it starts to filter information. It also starts to create within you a mindset, because you're also reshaping and restructuring your self-image. You can tell yourself, I've done it, and you literally have a sense of accomplishment. You haven't physically done it yet. But because you can create an image so vivid and you're so consistent and repetitious with the idea, the mind eventually says, well, I guess we have done it. And it cannot distinguish between the two. So that's what you need to do. You need to be able to talk like it, walk like it, behave like it, but you got to be moving toward it at the same time. You got to be taking the incremental steps that we talked about. Okay, here we go. Tip number 5, be willing to be uncomfortable. Oh, this is where it gets real. This is where it gets real. This is where we start to see things. This is where we start to see things really get shaky. Be willing to be uncomfortable. I've gotten to a point, and I tell my clients this all the time, I've gotten to a point now to where I've become comfortable with being uncomfortable, and I actually start to become leery if things seem too comfortable. If I'm just flowing, it means what? At first, it means that I've gotten. Of course, that would happen. It means that I've gotten to a point where I've settled in, and I'm doing things to a point to where, okay, that's it. And I have to be careful with that, because what used to be uncomfortable and was the challenge and was at that time the right thing to do eventually becomes simple, easy, and it means you phased out and it's time to move to the next thing. But because you have become what's the word, habitually addicted to that behavior, it's how you identify so in other words, getting up every morning and grinding, that was a stage of that for me. That's not a stage I'm in now. Grinding won't get me to the next level. The next level is more mental for me. It's getting out of my comfort zone. My next comfort zone for me is collaboration. You know, getting outside of my own space of expertise and collaborating with people in other spaces of expertise to create some unified ideas and notions to help people grow outside of the spectrum and the space and the parameters of my expertise. So in other words, now I'm talking to people who are neurologists, people who are licensed nutritionists. Now, these aren't areas that I'm unaware of because I expand myself and I drive myself, but these are experts. These are people at the top of their field that now I'm starting to say, okay, it's time to do the collaboration. It's out of it. You got to get out of the grind mode. It's a hustle mode. It's great to get you started because it puts you in the mindset of going step by step, doing it, doing it, doing it. It doesn't mean you get lazy. It means you get smarter, you become wiser. There's a point when if you're grinding right, you're grinding with the intention to grow. And if you're grinding with the intention to grow, you're becoming better, you're becoming more efficient. And so what happens is there's a certain time in your life that you ought to be triple timing your outcomes. What I mean is you should be able to get 3 times more progression and traction at 50 than you did at 25. So if I put 8 hours in at 25 and I got X, I should be able to put 8 hours in at 50 and get triple X. Why? Because I know more, I'm more experienced, I know how to get things done, I should have made the connections, I should have the resources, and I should be better at it. So in other words, now the thing isn't whether I'm grinding or not. The thing is, what am I making the next step to come out of my comfort zone? And one of the things for me is I will sink into my space because I like being with me. Despite my business being working with people and I excel in that area, and you couldn't tell anybody that I, prefer to be in places of solitude with myself. But the thing is, now it's time to get out in spaces. And the thing is, once I get there, I'm good, but it's not a natural progression or proclivity for me to go out and hang with people, connect with people. I have to sit up and wake up and make up myself. Look, I'm going to call so-and-so. We're going to set up this meeting. I'm going to call so-and-so. We're going to set up this meeting. And so literally one of the things I put in my high performance planner every day is cultivate meaning relationships. Why? Because I have a tendency to roll solo. And so that's my comfort zone. I'm coming out of it. And it's going to show up over the next year. It's going to show up massively. There's going to be a major jump in where I am now and where I'll be a year from now because of this switch, because I've gotten all I can out of the grind mode. I've gotten all I can out of, I'm going hard in the pain and the pain and the pain and the pain. It's time now to start looking at how to advance, use the expertise, use the connectivity, use all the things that have people paying attention to take it to the next level. And you're going to do these different things, and your comfort zone may be different. Your next level may be different. Where you're going to that's going to pull you into a place of discomfort may be different, but you cannot be in your comfort zone. Your comfort zone will not produce the character you need, the resilience you need, the strength you need, the perseverance you need. All of these things are going to be things you're going to have if you're going to go the distance. Winning in life isn't about having the right hand. Winning in life isn't about where you start. Winning in life isn't about having the right connections, even though that's great. Winning in life isn't even about the plan. Winning in life is real simple. Are you going to finish what you start? And finishing what you start means getting to those uncomfortable moments of discomfort, and saying, I'm going there. Because God placed what I'm looking for on the other side of that discomfort. God placed what I'm looking for on the other side of that fear. God placed what I'm looking for on the other side of that pain. It's not that I want pain. It's just that I understand I can't have what I want if I hide over here in discomfort. If I hide in discomfort, I'm going to become complacent. If I hide in discomfort, I'm going to sit up and I'm just going to be like most people, operating on my default setting of average and mediocre. I'm never going to strive and become what I'm capable of becoming as long as I sit here in this place of comfort. Comfort does not feed the passions of greatness. It doesn't. So you're going to have to come out of it. You're going to have to feel like, whoa. And that's okay. That's where you need to be. That's this place you need to be. So I am challenging you to come out of that comfort zone. Finally, you're going to have to learn how to be your own cheerleader. Sometimes you're going to look up and it's like everybody's pulling for you. Then you're going to look up, it looks like nobody cares. And then there's going to be this time, it's like everybody's cheering against you. Everybody wants you to fail. And there are going to be all these different times, and none of it is bad as you think because you're in the moment and you are having and fighting for something. But let me tell you something. Your vision is your vision. Your dream is your dream. Your aspirations are your aspirations. The best way to overcome being in it by yourself is surrounding yourself with like-minded people, surrounding yourself with people who will fan your flame, surrounding yourself with people who see in you what sometimes you will lose about yourself. It's nothing like going through a moment. Trust me, I've been there. It's nothing like going through a moment and you're sitting there and you start to question your very purpose. You start to question your very capacity. Why? Because it's gotten so hard. It's become so difficult. But guess why you're there? You're there because you decided to step outside the comfort, and you're in a place of discomfort. You're in a place where the comfort, well, see, in the grind mode, nobody's going to mess with my confidence in grind mode. I get up every morning. I beat up night. I'm up earlier than 95% of my competition. So I'm ahead of the game. You can't get me there. But when you step out of that comfort zone and you move into collaboration, where now you got to depend on other people wanting to work with you, you'll start questioning yourself if you're not careful. When you're depending on other people buying into your vision and seeing things that only you see right now, you'll start to wonder, well, did I really see it? But then there'll be somebody in your circle that you've connected with, that you brought in because they see in you, especially if they see it before you see it. You want that person in your circle. Why? Because when you start to doubt, they say, no, you got this. I recently went through some challenges and I got so fixed on the challenges. That's another thing. Don't get fixed on what you focus on, you feel. I got fixed on challenges. But I had people in my circle saying, hey, you got this. Oh, no. Your purpose and your capacity is so much bigger than what you're facing right now. And that's all it took to remind me of what I knew, but I had lost sight of. And you need those people. But in the meantime, train yourself to cheer yourself on. Even in the Bible, it says that at one point in time, all the guys that were riding with David, was rolling with David, they were rolling tight. Came back, found the camp tore up, women and children gone, all their goods gone. They ready to stone David. They really killed David. And what does the Bible say? David encouraged himself in the Lord. You got to be that person sometime when nobody else seems to be feeling your dream, when nobody else seems to be encouraging you, when nobody else seems to be, you got to learn how to say, I got this. I'm built for this. I will not stop. I will not give in. I'm pressing through. I will win. If you follow those 6, let me tell you, you're going to press through. Look, I'm about to get off of here. As I said in the beginning, if you like what you heard, please hit the like button, share button. If you haven't subscribed or follow, subscribe and follow. Also, if you're really looking to make some changes, check out that description box. There are some things going on over the next couple of weeks you may want to get into. And plus, we also have an entire resource center that you need to check out. So again, I bless you with encouragement that whatever you decide to do in this world, if it's good and it will bless you and it will bless your family and it'll bless other people, it cannot be withheld with you. No good thing shall be withheld. You have to be willing to press forward. You have to be willing to come out that comfort zone. You have to be willing to see it, write it, walk it, speak it, talk it, love it, and pursue it until you have it. Look, I even have a couple of opportunities to work with me directly. Just reach out. Follow one of those links or something like that. Find me. But whatever you do, find yourself. Find yourself. Be clear about what you want. Don't let nobody talk you out of your passion, your dream, your vision, especially people who have already given up on theirs. On that note, I'm out here, as I always say, I live my life on full. And I'm challenging you. I live my life on full so that when I leave this place, I die on E. I die on E. I'm not taking any of this potential with me. I'm going to walk it out every day of my life. And I'm challenging you to do the same thing. On that note, you guys have an unbelievable day. Thank you for allowing me to take up your time. I'm out of here.